Before I begin, I want you to take a deep breath. Wherever you're sitting or standing, pause for a moment. Feel your body. Feel snorts the space around you. Feel the weight of your own existence, because today I want to talk to you about silver. Yes, silver, but also about something much deeper, something far more important than charts, cycles, or markets. I want to talk to you about awareness, about truth, and about how understanding the world outside of you can transform the world inside of you. This is not just an update, this is a wake-up call, because what's happening with silver right now is not just economic, it's emotional, psychological, and spiritual. It's a mirror held up to your life, your decisions, your fears, and the patterns you follow without even realizing it. When you understand cycles, whether in markets or in your own heart, you begin to see the world in a different way. You begin to see the beauty in what rises and the purpose in what falls. You begin to trust life again. So let me speak to you not just as someone who studies patterns, but as someone who cares deeply about your growth, your peace, and your ability to navigate this changing world with clarity and strength. The reason this silver update is so important is because silver is telling us a story about imbalance, about correction, about truth revealing itself. And if you look closely, that story can teach you how to find balance in your own life. Because every one of us at some point becomes out of alignment with our values, with our goals, with our health, with our purpose, and when we ignore those misalignments, life eventually forces us to face them. Silver is simply doing what life always does, reverting to truth. For years, silver has been undervalued, overlooked, misunderstood. People have ignored it, dismissed it, or expected it to behave like everything else in the market. But silver is different. Silver has intrinsic value. Silver has a role. Silver has purpose, a real physical, tangible purpose in the functioning of this world. And when something with purpose is suppressed or ignored long enough, eventually it pushes back. It rises, it demands to be seen, just like you. Maybe you've been undervalued in your own life. Maybe you've been overlooked in your relationships, in your work, or even in your own self-care. Maybe you've been suppressing your potential, your dreams, your creativity. But like silver, you cannot stay hidden forever. You are meant to rise. You are meant to be recognized. You are meant to step into a life that reflects your true worth. That's why this silver update matters, because it's a metaphor for your own awakening. Silver is entering a phase where truth comes to the surface. The distortions fade, the cycles shift, and whenever cycles shift in the external world, there is always an invitation to shift within yourself. Cycles are everywhere, in markets, in nature, in human emotions, in relationships, in health. And the people who live the most fulfilling lives are the ones who learn to recognize these cycles, accept them, and adapt to them instead of fighting them. When you resist a cycle, you suffer. When you accept it, you grow. And when you learn from it, you transform. Right now, silver is teaching us about patience, the kind of patience you need for your own healing. Healing doesn't happen in a straight line. Progress doesn't happen in a straight line. Growth certainly doesn't happen in a straight line. There are moments when life accelerates and moments when it slows down. Moments of expansion and moments of contraction. But both are important, both are necessary, both move you forward. The mistake most people make is expecting life to always move upward. They want instant results, constant progress, permanent comfort. But that's not how the world works, that's not how nature works, and that's not how you work either. Look at the seasons, look at the tides, look at the markets. Everything rises and everything resets. Everything flourishes and everything rests. Instead of fearing these cycles, learn to trust them. When silver pulled back, people panicked. They assumed the worst. They forgot the bigger picture. They forgot the cycle. They forgot that corrections are not failures. They are invitations. They are recalibrations. They are the universe whispering, slow down, realign, prepare. Something bigger is coming, and the same is true for you. Every setback you've had wasn't a setback. It was preparation. Every mistake was refinement. Every loss was clearing space for something better. And every time you felt like you were falling, you were actually being repositioned. But you don't see that until you step back and observe your life with the same clarity you would use to observe a long-term chart or an economic cycle. You don't see it until you look at the pattern, not the moment. You don't see it until you realize that the universe is always working in cycles, cycles designed to bring you closer to your purpose. Silver is entering a cycle that reveals truth, and you are entering a cycle that asks you to embrace your truth. You cannot grow if you keep running from who you are, you cannot find peace if you deny what you feel, and you cannot evolve if you cling to the version of yourself that it existed only for survival, not for fulfillment. This is a time to step into your power, not with force, but with awareness, not with ego, but with understanding, not by pushing harder, but by aligning deeper. Life rewards alignment, and alignment begins with honesty. Being honest about your habits, your health, your emotional needs, your boundaries, your dreams. For too long, many people have ignored their internal imbalance, the same way the market ignored the imbalance in silver. But truth always wins, it pushes through, it rises to the surface, and while that process can be uncomfortable, it is also liberating. This is the moment to choose yourself, to choose growth, to choose healing. I want you to think for a moment about where you are right now in your life. Think about your routines. Think about your relationships. Think about your physical health, your energy, your sleep, your stress. Think about your emotional life, the thoughts you repeat, the fears you carry, the dreams you've forgotten. Think about the choices you've been postponing and the habits you know you need to change. Now ask yourself, what cycle am I in? And am I resisting it or learning from it? Awareness is the first step. Acceptance is the second. Action is the third. You don't need to control everything. You just need to understand what is happening and respond with clarity instead of fear. That's how investors survive chaos, and that's how people survive life. Silver is showing us that suppressed value never stays suppressed forever. It eventually breaks through, and it does so with force, with momentum, with undeniable truth. You have that same momentum inside you. You have that same truth waiting to break through. And if you listen to it, if you trust it, it will lead you to a better, healthier, more peaceful version of yourself. This is your time to rise. This is your time to heal. This is your time to realign with your purpose. When you begin to trust that everything in your life is part of a cycle, that nothing is random, nothing is wasted, nothing is meaningless, you will find peace, deep peace, peace that isn't shaken by uncertainty, peace that isn't dependent on external conditions, peace that comes from understanding the rhythm of life. So as you watch silver move, as you observe the changes, the volatility, the shifts, I want you to remember you are part of a cycle too. And your cycle is leading you toward growth, toward strength, toward clarity, toward truth, toward a life that reflects your worth, not your fears. Your job is not to predict everything. Your job is to stay aware, stay grounded, stay honest, and stay aligned. Use this moment, this update, as a reminder to update your own life, update your mindset, update your habits, update your self-care, update your priorities, update your connection to yourself, because the most important investment you will ever make is in your own well-being. Let this be the moment you choose to rise. Let this be the moment you choose to reset. Let this be the moment you choose to step into a new cycle with confidence, with love, with clarity, with purpose. You are not falling behind. You are not failing. You are not lost. You are simply in transition, and transition is where transformation begins. So breathe deeply, stand tall, trust the cycle, trust the truth. Trust the rise. This is your moment. This is your silver moment.